Hi everyone! My name is Elizabeth. This is Piper. This is FrizzyLizzieStitches. Today is July the 3rd, 2021, and this is Flosstube number 4. Yay! I'm gonna let her go now. I was on vacation last week. I got back yesterday, and I had never taken Piper to be boarded before, so last week was her first time going to the kitty hotel, and I was sad when I dropped her off, like any pet parent would be, but she was totally fine. The place I took her to, actually, they only do cats, so that was kind of cool, and they had a really nice little area for them all, and she was able to kind of like, all the little kennels that they have are against a window which have decent sunlight, so she was actually able to snooze in the sun, which is one of her favorite things to do. So when I dropped her off, I was all sad, and then when I picked her up, I was able to kind of like peek in the little room where they had her, and I could see that she was sleeping in the sun, and I was like, if that's any idea of how she spent this week, then she was totally fine. Like I said, I got back from vacation. I went with my boyfriend to Tennessee. We had initially planned to camp the whole week and stay and like hike around the Great Smokies, but the weather was not in our favor. So it was really nice the day we got there, but then that evening there was quite a bit of rain that let us know that our tent was not the best. Everything inside got wet. It was leaked all over the place. So we ended up like going to the nearest REI and getting a new tent, and then when we slept that night, it was humid as all get out because of the rain, and it was hot, and then the next day we got up and we went on a hike, and the plan was to hike to Rocky Top, and it was a very strenuous hike. I don't even think we really made it to Rocky Top, but we did make it to Spence Field, and we did hike a little bit on the Appalachian Trail, and we saw one of the little like shelters that you can stay at when you're hiking the trail. It was really neat. I had never seen anything like that before. It basically was like an open cabin with like some bunks and a fireplace and like a little bar to eat food at. And they had like a little campfire area, and like they had these cables in the trees to tie up your packs so the bears won't get your food and stuff. And yeah, it was pretty cool. And there was like this little notebook like in a Ziploc bag that they had as like a guest log for everybody who stayed at the Appalachian Trail shelter, and it was super cool because there were comments all from like having a great time to so-and-so pooped here. So that was pretty cool to see. But yeah, and then when we got done with our hike, it started raining again. And so then we were both paranoid that the tent was gonna leak, even though it was a brand new tent and like technically it should be better, which we later found out everything inside the tent was dry. But we were just panicking because it was just raining, and it was in the forecast to keep raining for the remaining days that we were gonna be there. And so we slept in the tent one more night, and then the next day we got up and we decided to change our plans. And we hopped on over to Nashville, and we stayed at the Opryland, the Gaylord Hotel, and we just kind of poked around Nashville for a couple days and hung out and took advantage of all that the hotel had to offer, and did lots of swimming and happy hour and that sort of thing. And then on Friday when we left, which was yesterday, we went to the zoo, and I love zoos, and I hadn't been to one in forever, so I was really excited. And I think my favorite part was the tiger, because he was napping like right next to the glass, and so there was like quite a long line to get into the little like room where the viewing area was. And I was like, what is taking so long? And then when we finally got into the room, I realized why I was taking so long, because the tiger literally was right next to the glass and he was taking a nap and he was not going anywhere. But he was super cute. Yeah. And then we came home and here I am. So now I'm doing lots of like laundry today. My bed actually doesn't have sheets on it right now. I have deceived thy eyes. I just basically put the comforter back on with no sheets, so you guys wouldn't have to see my naked bed while I film my video. Let's see. That was like pretty much all I wrote down for my chatty bits. This video may be short. I don't really know. I didn't do a ton of stitching this past week, but I did a decent amount of stitching the previous week. So yeah, I have 3 cross stitch whips to show, and I have 1 crochet whip to show, and then depending on how much time is left, I don't know, we'll see what happens. I'm sure I can come up with something to talk about. Not that I like have to talk about things to make it a good video, but there I am. I'm just gonna be lazy, just got back from vacation Saturday morning. Oh man. Okay. Well, the first thing that I worked on was actually a new start. And it's the Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts Stitching Book Club. And this is Little Women. So I'm gonna fold it in half. So you can kind of see, because since it's a white fabric, it kind of gets washed out. But this is my start. I did the little like florally thing at the top, and then I started on one of the T's. But I've done pretty decent keeping up with the first section. I think I may be like 3 chapters behind, and the new stuff I think comes out today or tomorrow. I'm not sure. I think it comes out either today or tomorrow for the next 11 chapters, 12 chapters, next 12 chapters, and then whatever next section on the stitching goes. But the whole first section is supposed to say Little Women, and then it has this little floral stuff at the top, and then there's like a quill and a sewing needle. I'll put a picture up so that you can kind of get an idea of what it's supposed to look like. But yep, that's my Little Women stitch along. And this is 28 count vintage Stormy Night? No, I don't know. I can't remember what it's called. I'll put it on the screen. It's some sort of like Zweigart. It's basically like vintage country mocha, but it's the white version of that. So you can barely tell, but it's got some light modeling on it. So anyway. And then the next thing that I worked on was my Wizard of Oz stitch along, and I am behind, and I'm not trying to catch up, I'm just trying to go at my own pace. But I have finished, almost finished, the border for everything. So as you can tell, I just have that one little V shape at the end with the other emerald on it, but this is what it looks like so far. I just kind of like the idea of having all the border done before I started all the little sections. So yeah, and I think section 3 came out last week, so I guess that means section, no wait, not 3. This is 1, and then it's 2, 3, 4. So section 5 I think should come out next week. But section 4 was the Wicked Witch of the West? East? I don't actually know. I think the Wicked Witch of the East is the one that gets smashed by the house. And I think Wicked Witch of the West is the one with the flying monkeys. And the one that's causing all the havoc in the movie, at least. But yeah. These are very boring updates for my projects. Because like I said, I didn't do that much this week, and all this stuff that I did last week. I think where I was at last week was basically like the top half. So I basically did these 2 rainbow pieces, and I think this emerald. So I made a lot of progress. It just like, it doesn't look like much to show because it's not. It's nothing exciting, it's just a bunch of border. It's not like the characters or any pretty, super pretty new patterns or things. So, let's see. And then my last whip, which I worked on more this week, and when I say more this week, I mean a lot last night, is my Made to Create stitch along, and it is still in the Q-snap because I'm not quite done with, I'm not ready to move this section yet. I have to finish, the part that came out was the E and some border, but I have to finish this spool of thread. I was really confused when this came out and I saw it, because I was like, what is that? This apparently is a rolling pin, and now that I know that, I can see it, but it was not obvious to me at first. So we have rolling pin, and then there's 3 little buttons, and then this is like a sewing pin, and then this is a spool of thread. So, and then after that, there's the border, and the edges, like the corners of the border, are like those little, they're like the same little things that you would like tuck a photo into, which I thought was really cute. So, and then the other thing too is I was planning to sign my initials into this somehow with the year, and I saw somebody on Instagram that had put the year like on this part of the measuring tape and kind of like lined them up with the little tick marks on the measuring tape. So I think I'm gonna do that and like do it in this dark pink color so it kind of blends a little. It's not as like obvious, I guess. And then put the year on this side, and then on the other side of the measuring tape put my initials. That I like the way that sounds, so hopefully it'll turn out. But yeah, that's what she's looking like. My grime guard came in very handy while traveling with this because I was able to keep number 1, keep everything contained, and number 2, when my hands felt a little dirty, they were gripping the side of this and not the actual project. So, but yeah. And the other thing too is when I was traveling with this, there were a couple times where I lost my needle, and I found it, but like it was kind of annoying and scary. So I also have been, I mean, it's on my needle minder right now, but I had been actually weaving the needle into the grime guard so that it wouldn't fall off while I toss this in a bag. So I don't toss it in there, I gently place it in there. But yeah. And then the last whip that I have is the crochet whip, which is my Coraline doll. And I think I actually worked on this like the day after I filmed my last video, but she's still connected to her ball of yarn. So last time you saw her legs were connected in the crotch. And I have since added her pants, or the body part of her, like the shorts part of her pants, I don't know, and her shirt. So the next step for this is her neck and her head, but I don't have any of the stuff for her face because she needs button eyes, and she also needs, and the pattern calls for a balloon stick, but it says you could also use a chopstick, but that's basically to like put inside her body and connect to her head so that her neck doesn't like flop over. So I have to get something. A chopstick will probably be easier to find, but yeah, she's got a shirt and a body now, so how cute. Oh yeah, and then my stripe work improved a lot. I mean, you clearly can see where it is because it kind of goes at an angle, but compare this to this, I did way better. So I'm pretty proud about that. And yeah, this is also like a stuff as you go thing, so she's squishy. But I'm excited to work on this some more. I think to do, because she's supposed to have a skirt, and I think you're supposed to like start from these back loops that I left at the bottom of her shirt. And so I'm just excited to see how all that pulls together. But yeah, she'll be so cute when she's done. But yeah, that's all my whips. And I guess, so I have some, so I think I made plans, but I'm also like curious what my plans were last time. Okay, my plans last time were to finish Made to Create and catch up on Cozy Cafe. I knew that I wasn't going to catch up on Cozy Cafe in 2 weeks, especially being out on vacation for one of those weeks, but my plans this time still are to finish the Made to Create and to make progress on Cozy Cafe. And then my other plan is to finish the border on my Wizard of Oz because it's so close. So I think I may, once I finish the border on this, I'll probably put this one away for a little bit. Oh, see, I got a loose needle already that I pulled off of the Little Women one. Okay, sorry. Yeah, so I think my plan is going to be to finish the border on this before I put it away. And then when I pull it back out again, I will pick one of the blocks to work on. So, and then, like I said, I want to finish the Made to Create. I haven't measured this yet, but part of me feels like it should fit in an 8x10, but I'm not sure. And the reason I say that is because I was at Bed Bath & Beyond the other day because I was trying to buy a scale because I don't have a scale, but now I do. And anyway, on my way to the bathroom section, I found they had some frames on clearance, and I was able to get like a $3 8x10 frame that like had this pretty like antique wood look to it. So I think it may go with this. I don't know yet. I've had this idea in my head, but I haven't actually like tried to compare them to see if it would look good. But that's only if this would fit in 8x10, but I have no idea. So, but yeah, that's all I wrote down for my plans and literally everything I've talked about so far. I thought of something to say and I forgot what it was. Oh, I remember. So I was stitching on the couch a couple weeks ago, and I have no idea what I was stitching on, but I lost a needle, and I was like trying to find it, because I'm like sitting on the couch, there's a blanket in my lap, there's a cat in my lap, like I have no idea where this needle is, and I couldn't find it, so I just gave up on it, and I pulled out another one and started using that one. Well then, like 2 or 3 days later, I am like brushing my teeth in the morning and having the same blanket like wrapped around me while I'm brushing my teeth that I had in my lap that night I lost the needle. And all of a sudden I feel this like hard thing in my blanket. I'm like, what is that? That freaking needle. I found it it was like wedged in the blanket. But the thing is, I had been sleeping with that blanket for like 2 days. So that needle had just been hanging out in my blanket. And that just cracked me up. I mean, I never like obviously noticed it because I didn't get poked. And I don't know. I just think it's hilarious that my needle was just hiding out in there for like 2 days before I was able to find it. But yeah, I thought that was funny. Piper's being all cute now. She's sleeping in her little cubby. I don't know if I can like rotate this to show. There, she's kind of in there. There she is. So, okay. Yeah, I think that's it. I've been, so I've been using this is not stitchy related, this is just me jabbering because I don't have that much to talk about, and I feel like I should talk about random crap. So, I've been using this planner from Erin Condren, and I used to be really into planning when I was like in college, and I used Erin Condren for a couple years, and then I switched to bullet journaling, and I did that for about 3 years, and then 2020 came along, and I was going to try this Hobonichi, this little Japanese planner, and then of course 2020 was like the worst year to try a new planner because I had no plans. So then I bought this last September, basically when I started my new job, because I knew that I was gonna need to keep some stuff organized. And yeah, so this is a monthly planner, it's not the life planner, so basically it just has like a monthly layout, like looks like this, and then it just has like blank, well, it has like a dashboard, and then it has like just line note pages until the next month. So I had basically been using this like a bullet journal because I pretty much, when I was bullet journaling, I pretty much would just write a monthly spread and then do whatever I wanted with the pages after that until the next month. So anyway, that was kind of why I decided to go with this one. But now I am interested in going back to bullet journaling because I haven't done it in a while, and I want to see, number one, how different I would bullet journal now compared to like 2 years ago. And secondly, when I used to bullet journal, I was very like scrapbooky with it, so there was lots of like photos that I pasted in. I would make stickers, and I had a bunch of washi tape, and I would do like some collaging and stuff. And so I don't know if I would try that again, because it was, I enjoyed it and it was fun at the time, but I can't imagine like doing that now because it just takes a lot of time and effort, and there's lots of like little supplies that you use to do that, to pull that off, like all the different papers and glues and pens and markers and stuff. So, but I did buy a new notebook, and I bought this Scribbles That Matter notebook, and I have remembered this one being a really popular notebook back when I first started bullet journaling, but I never got it because I was hooked on the Leuchtturm 1917 notebooks, and because that's what everyone was using. But there were several people using this, and so I decided to give it a try. It's got really thick paper compared to the Leuchtturm notebooks, but the paper thickness in here is pretty comparable to the Erin Condren paper. And what I like about that is I really like the Papermate InkJoy Gel pens, and they're very inky. So having thick paper is good to use on those because the ink kind of sinks into the paper, rather than on the Leuchtturm paper, it almost sits on top and then it smudges. So anyway, I'm really excited to use this, but now I'm like contemplating, do I start it now when I have 2 months, like it's halfway through the year? That way I could that would be a good starting point to start a new bullet journal. But then the other part of me is like, I don't want to just throw this out or stop using this because it's got 2 months left. So I don't know. Anyway, random side note, but yeah, I'm also excited about it though. I also could just start it and do both if I wanted to, but I also fear that if I do that, then I'm gonna kind of go back to my old ways of like doing it just to do it instead of doing it to be helpful for me in my daily life, and like trying to get stuff done and keep track of habits that I want to have, like, you know, drinking lots of water and stuff. But yeah, I think I've rambled enough. I hope everyone has a fun, happy, safe 4th of July weekend. And most people, I think, have Monday off, considering 4th of July is on Sunday. So yeah, have a happy, safe weekend. I'm personally going to, I think I'm going to go to the pool at my apartment. And yeah, just chill and stitch and be lazy until I have to go back to work on Tuesday. So, but yeah, I think that's it. Thanks for joining me today, and I guess I'll talk to you guys next time. So, bye!